Welcome to News You Missed, October the 13th, 2025.
Good morning, everybody, and guess what? We got some crazy stories going on out there. I don't know anyone out there who doesn't know about the big crypto crash. I don't know anyone out there who doesn't know about the peace in Gaza. And guess what? We've even got old prime ministers coming back into power. So let's dive right into the news and head over to Drew for the first story.
Thanks, Paul. First up, this morning around 9:20 a.m. local time, President Trump lands in Tel Aviv. He and Prime Minister Netanyahu will meet with the hostages and their families before the president gives what's been called a historic address to the Knesset.
Well, Drew, on the back of that story, I've got something to add. Hamas says it won't attend Monday's signing of President Trump's peace deal in Egypt, calling parts of the plan absurd. The group's spokesman says the idea of expelling Palestinians from Gaza is, quote, nonsense. Under Trump's proposal, Israel would release prisoners and pull troops from Gaza in exchange for the return of all hostages. But here's the twist. Neither Hamas nor Israel plans to show up at the ceremony. So it's a peace deal without the people making peace. Only in 2025 could diplomacy look like a Zoom call where everyone's on mute.
It's day 11 of the US government shutdown. Debts are climbing, inflation's biting, and sitting quietly in a committee is a bill called HR 1846, the Federal Reserve Board Abolition Act. It would transfer monetary authority to the Treasury and end private control over US currency. The outlook is unlikely to move soon, but it's proof that even Washington knows the money debate isn't going anywhere.
My next story. Brussels may see soldiers on the streets. Belgium's Defence Minister, Theo Franken, says troops could join police patrols before year end to tackle rising gang violence. So far this year, the city has seen around 60 shootings, 2 of them fatal. Officials call the situation dire, warning that violent crime is spilling beyond the capital. Franken stressed the army's role would be limited to essential security duties, but he didn't rule anything out. Brussels is now being labelled Europe's gun crime capital, and authorities are scrambling for a solution. Well, Drew, I've got one solution. Maybe illegal migration. If they stop that, that might reduce the problem.
Next up, Pakistan's military reports 23 soldiers killed and claims roughly 200 Taliban fighters were taken out on the Afghan side of the border. Officials say the number of wounded is higher. The clashes highlight ongoing instability that could undermine regional trade and counter-terror cooperation.
Wow, in Madagascar, things are looking pretty ugly. President Andry Rajoelina says an attempted coup is underway after elite troops joined protests calling for him to resign. The president's office blasted the move as unconstitutional and urged the nation to defend democracy. Rajoelina, who first came to power in a coup back in 2009, yes, the irony writes itself, now faces weeks of youth-led protests over blackouts, water cuts and corruption. Rumours swelled that he fled the country, but officials insist he's still in charge somewhere.
Next up, newly elected leader Andrej Babis says no Czech tax money will go towards weapons for Ukraine. Those efforts, he says, belong under NATO. It's a political signal that Europe's patience with the cost of war may be thinning.
And in France, Prime Minister Sébastien Lecornu is back in office and already warning it might be a short stay. Reappointed by President Emmanuel Macron just days after resigning, Lecornu says he'll stick around only if conditions allow. His first term lasted just 27 days, shorter than most Netflix trials. Now he faces a divided parliament, no solid allies, and the daunting task of passing France's 2026 budget. Lecornu called on lawmakers to end what he called the ridiculous spectacle of political gridlock, though many say that's just French politics as usual.
Flying to China, Beijing just announced that beginning of December the 1st, any product containing more than 0.1% Chinese rare earth elements will face export controls. even if the shipment starts somewhere else. This move tightens China's grip on high-tech supply chains and turns rare earth into the next geopolitical bargaining chip.
Iran has announced it's suspending cooperation with the UN's atomic energy watchdog, but says it's only temporary. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi told State TV that Tehran is ready to return to its agreement with the IAEA if fair proposals are made that protect Iran's rights. The Cairo deal, signed just last month, was meant to restore nuclear inspection after US and Israeli airstrikes in June. But tensions rose again when Britain, France and Germany reimposed UN sanctions, and now Iran says, quote, "We see no basis for talks with the Europeans."
Staying on the European train, the EU just launched its new automated entry system. All non-EU travellers will now be photographed and fingerprinted at the border. Britons are told to allow 4 hours for screening. 4 hours? That's long enough to clear customs, eat lunch and binge a whole season of The Crown. Paul, 4 hours?
You can see this is some sort of narrative agenda. Fingerprints, probably iris scans coming, blood tests, you name it. This is all building up to full and total control over us. So I am definitely against this, but what I will say is things are afoot. People are speaking up. People are having their say.
Next up, President Trump's recent "getting into heaven" comment has sparked debate online. Some called it arrogance, others humility. I'll just say this, it's refreshing to hear a politician remember there's a higher authority than the polling numbers. That's the world. Now let's see what all of it did to the money. Paul, what's your first story for financial funnies?
Well, Drew, this is the big one of the weekend. Crypto markets went on a roller coaster this weekend. Bitcoin fell below $110,000. Ethereum lost 20%. And traders who borrowed way too much watched billions vanish faster than free snacks in an office. Leveraged positions got liquidated like spilled drinks at a party, causing a panic sell-off across tokens. But don't panic just yet. Experts say the market is starting to stabilise. As one analyst put it, tomorrow is a new day, and maybe crypto will stop playing hide and seek with our money.
Yep, the Dow fell 870 points, S&P down 2.7%, Nasdaq off 3.6%. One sentence about tariffs sent markets into meltdown. Wall Street called it uncertainty. I call it a caffeine crash with better lighting.
Do you know what, Drew? You're absolutely right. And wow, who would have thought Trump's one sentence would have caused so much chaos? I mean, $19 billion was wiped off of crypto over the weekend. It was crazy. I mean, I turned my phone on and was like, it was that insane what went on. But as everyone said, if anything now, everything's on sale in the crypto space.
And moving to London's market, the FTSE 100 hit record high as miners glittered and the government scrapped stamp duty on new stock listings. Translation, please invest here. We promise not to tax the welcome mat.
Well, Drew, my next one. The IMF boss just said, buckle up. And she wasn't kidding. Between Trump's surprise tariff tantrums, worries about an AI bubble and global trade doing the cha-cha, uncertainty really is the new normal. Markets are bouncing, governments are sweating, and investors are praying their AI robots don't go rogue. Basically, it's like the world economy is on a roller coaster without seatbelts, and the IMF is politely reminding us, hold on tight.
And over in Iraq, after 30 months, Kurdish oil reports resume and Baghdad launches a nationwide digital payments campaign. Old world meets new wallet. And the IMF wants details on Zimbabwe's new gold-backed currency. The central bank says, trust us, interest rates stay at 20% because apparently inflation loves company.
Absolutely right, Drew. Well, on the back end of all this drama and chaos going on out there, gold just went through the roof. hitting a record $4,059 an ounce, and silver isn't far behind at $51. Why? Thanks to the US-China trade drama, tariffs flying left and right, and investors looking for something shiny to hide their money in. Basically, when politics get messy, people turn to bullion because nothing says I'm stressed like hoarding precious metals. Meanwhile, platinum and palladium are quietly climbing too, probably hoping someone will notice. Drew, isn't this just history proving itself time and time again when all these speculative markets are just roller coastering everywhere? Everyone hides it in gold and silver. It's just a common sense way to hide your wealth, store your wealth, and keep yourself protected.
Moving on to Vietnam, the VN index broke 1,700 points. The dong's sliding slightly to offset tariffs. That's controlled flexibility, economic yoga at its finest. And the US quietly helped stabilize Argentina's economy, citing its rare earth deposits. It's not charity, it's strategy. And Binance compensated users $283 million after a few of its token lost their peg. $225 million in shorts got liquidated within 2 hours. Crypto still the only market where Friday night counts as risk management. And finally, over to the Hackers Corner, where the password is always please don't click that. Fake HR emails, hackers sent messages pretending to be HR. You click, they steal your paycheck. It looks urgent. Call HR directly. And a virus named Steal It hides inside fake games and free VPNs. If it's free, the price is your data. Encrypted app Signal may leave Europe because a new law would force apps to scan every private message. Yes, even yours. And investigating Siri records. And scientists just turned a gaming mouse into a microphone. So if your mouse double clicks itself, maybe stop whispering secrets. You don't need to be paranoid, just aware. Don't click random links. Use two-step logging and keep your webcam covered when you're not using it. Safety is a habit, not a hobby.
Well, everybody, that was the news you missed on Monday, the 13th of October 2025. Exciting and crazy things happened over the weekend in the crypto space, and President Trump, by the looks of it, is the cause of it all. Who would have thought that? But thanks for joining us. Head over to charlieward.com. Join us on the Insiders Club every Wednesday and Saturday, where we find out what's really going on in the world. And would you believe it, there is hope. So honestly, when you hear on the news bad things happening, don't take it to heart, because this is all part of what's playing out there. And trust me, I believe that we are heading to better times, and I look forward to it. So all that's left for me to say is to take care. God bless. See you all soon. Bye.
Stay grounded, stay grateful, and remember, the truth always loads faster than the rumour. So for now, bye-bye.